Hey everyone, welcome to the Weekend DSP. This is for the week of March 18th, 2019. We don't have a whole lot of major little news events to touch on. There's really only two major things that I want to talk about, and I hinted about them on Twitter if you guys follow me on Twitter. Sorry for this one being a little short, but that means it's easier for me to edit and get out on time for you guys. So let's get right into the news this week. The first major event that Phil did this week was he revealed finally what the amount of money he needs to raise for April 15th is. Now, this is the number that's come back from his tax guy, and that is this gentleman's official profession now. He's no longer a CPA or a tax attorney or a tax agent. He is just the tax guy. And apparently tax guy is a common profession because that's what the firm back in Connecticut who did Phil's taxes, the guy who allegedly screwed everything up 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and which is why we're in this unending money pit of taxes. He was also a tax guy as well. Anyways, let's get to the big news, which is that the number he is trying to raise is $17,161. This is on top of whatever he has left over from the Emerald 7 money, which is basically code for the Emerald 7 money is gone. And he's adding on the $1,000 that it cost him to pay his tax guy to file this paperwork and come up with the amount of money that Phil owes, which is ridiculous. Because there is no way with Phil's credit and all the supposed financial issues he has that anyone would do anything up front for him without getting paid and think that he's good for it. You know what I mean? Like, this guy didn't pay his taxes for 3 years. Like, what are the chances that a CPA is going to do the taxes for him and think, "Oh, Phil will get me when he does that marathon, and he'll pay me back that $1,000 for all the work I did filing this for him." No, there's no way. He's already paid that, but he's putting that on there as if it's like, "Oh, this is another $1,000. You know, guys, it's so expensive living the way that I live. I need your help." Why don't you try downsizing, Phil? But, I mean, that's a story that could have been said, like, what, 5-10 years now? Why didn't you downsize? Why aren't you living within your means? Why are you trying to move on credit? Why are you trying to buy things on credit when your partnerships are drying up? Your sponsorships are drying up. They could delete YouTube tomorrow. They could delete Twitch tomorrow. What is your backup plan? What is your plan B? Beg harder. All right, Phil. Now, despite him revealing how much he needs to raise by April 15th, I guess his plan B is if he doesn't get the 5 figures he's asking for, is that he's just going to go right onto a payment plan. So the thing is, my understanding, I'm not a financial expert by any means, even though Phil will tell you I'm rich because I have a savings account, that the government wants money from you. They don't want to take a house from you because then they have to go through the effort of kicking you out, raffling off your shit, and then trying to sell the property again. They would rather have money, cold hard cash in their hands. So they're going to take whatever you have available to give them financially. And they're willing to work with you in order to come up with a payment plan in order to get their money in a reasonably timely manner. And the interest rates are fairly decent on going on payment plans. And from what I've seen in comment sections in the stream and other videos and on Twitter, going on an IRS payment plan is not an uncommon thing, and it's not that scary of a thing either because of how common it is and how easy it is and how much they're willing to work with you. I think it was said that you have to be like millions of dollars indebted to the government in order to like risk going to jail or them coming after your assets or anything like that. Phil has money. Phil earns money. They could put a lien or something against him or garnish his money. There are ways that they could come after it, which doesn't conclude with Phil having to sell his house after coming back from the Connecticut vacation. Now, there's a little interesting theory I want to touch on real quickly there because I saw a documentary on this in that Seattle's basically going to shit really quickly. My theory is, and this is running concurrent with the other theory, I guess I'll play both theories real quick, that Phil is going to sell his house. He's going to use taxes as an excuse, but in the meantime, try to raise as much money as he can, and then cut his losses and get out of Renton, get out of Seattle, get out of Washington, and move somewhere else maybe. Maybe that's coming from Kat because she actually leaves the house and has to go see all the homeless people, all the druggy people, all the crime. Phil doesn't have to deal with that. He thinks he's safe behind his gated community. Kat actually has to go out and interact with society and might be getting harassed by these people at her work. I don't know. But, and even if he isn't planning on moving, he should be planning on moving because what happens is, and this is what happened in Illinois, is that shit starts in the city and then it just inevitably expands out to the suburbs. You got all the crime that's in Chicago. Chicago's well known for its shitty crime. And then that shit has started to expand into the suburbs of Joliet and Aurora and other places. And of course, the theory that I've been saying out here multiple times is that Phil's trying to raise money in order to get a wedding ring, a wedding, and a honeymoon. The Connecticut vacation will not be the only vacation that they take this year. And of course, a lot of people think, oh, he's actually raising money for the Connecticut vacation. The whole parents paying for it is a ruse. And there may still be other theories. You guys can let me know your theories in the comment section. I actually do enjoy hearing other sides of the story because there's things I probably am not thinking of or angles my brain just can't process, regarding Phil and his shenanigans. So that's what the money is what he's trying to raise for. But of course, there isn't a set amount he needs to raise to get on a payment plan. He just says, whatever amount we just happen to get will just be enough. If we can't raise the full amount, I'll just go onto a payment plan as his plan B. So that means we're probably likely not going to see a house selling saga, but you never know. Like last year, I was predicting a subpocalypse of 100 gifted subs are going to fall off from Phil's channel. And then lo and behold, here comes King Tut to donate hundreds of subs. So maybe the inverse will be true for 2019 in that I'll make a prediction that nothing's going to happen and then actually something catastrophic happens. But I'm doing my effort to be reserved, not go super crazy on the littlest thing, and just allow myself to be surprised if something does grow into something bigger and unexpected. So Friday was the day before the big 12-hour marathon, and Friday was also the release of Sekiro, and, well, I guess you could have been playing it, Thursday night, but no midnight release for Phil for a game from a company that he's replayed all their games 3 or 4 times. I mean, Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, and Bloodborne. And his From Software streams tend to do extremely well on Twitch. If you remember when he did Dark Souls 3 last year is when he got was when King Tut showed up. I want to say Emerald 7 showed up during Dark Souls 1 on the Magic Run, but I could be wrong on that. But also when he did Bloodborne Redemption Run last year, there were a couple points where I tuned into his Twitch stream before I was doing the restreams, and I saw 700, 800, 1,000, 1,200 people watching Phil at any point in time. But no, Sekiro is not going to get that attention. However, when I watched his numbers on Sunday, I mean, he skyrocketed past 1,000 viewers on that stream. So missing out on doing a midnight release stream of that game was kind of a miss in my opinion. The second miss in my opinion is not making a whole marathon dedicated to Sekiro, especially with the difficulties he was having with the game. I mean, if he allowed himself to sit down and play that game solid for the 9 hours of gameplay, no, even less, maybe 8 hours of gameplay we inevitably got, then maybe that marathon would have been redeemed. He gave Sekiro, an hour, 2 hours, and that was where he raised the most money he raised that whole stream. More than half of his whole marathon's total take home was all done during Sekiro. And when he changed games, his viewership cut in half. So giving up on Sekiro was a horrible mistake for the marathon. But we found something really funny on the Friday stream of Sekiro. And props to Phil for not doing the Devil May Cry and quitting it for the night stream. But some people found an exploit on Muxy where you can trick Muxy into thinking that a donation has gone through, and it even plays the on-screen notification on Phil's end. This was a gold mine of gold dust, because one of the donations was Panda Lee soap for $600 or $550, something like that. And you could see Phil get visibly antsy, as if, well, it's a troll donation, but it's a troll donation for a lot of money. They might charge it back, but he always wins his chargebacks. And then there was another one for what, $1,700 from Donald Trump. And it was after those two flashed up on his screen, did Phil like check his phone to make sure they're real? I mean, how fucking scummy is this? Checking his phone to make sure these tips are real. And he lets his audience know that, of course, they're not real and that people are exploiting things. And now he's going to have to check his phone to make sure everything is real coming through. And for some reason, he still pitches this fucking lie that you can donate to him through Muxy, which uses PayPal, and it's totally anonymous. The only thing that's anonymous is you get to pick the name that shows up on Phil's on-screen notifications. And now that he's killed that aspect of his stream, the day before he's doing his big marathon, he still wants to let you know you can send money anonymously, which is ridiculous, because I have Streamlabs set up for my streams. I appreciate anything that comes through the Streamlabs. It uses PayPal, though. And here's the thing with PayPal. You guys get to see my name. I get to see your name. But that's just the nature of doing business. You have to have that kind of agreement between two parties. Like, I want this thing from Bill, and Bill's going to get this thing from me. Unless your PayPal is like a PayPal set up for a business like Burnell Productions, Inc., then that's the only way I can think of using PayPal and hiding your real first and last name, or unless you made a PayPal with fake information. But even then, I don't know how you would get away with that, because you'd still have to link it to a bank account if you wanted to like actually deposit it into your account. But I'm getting on a PayPal tangent that we don't really need to get onto. But just really funny that he still tries to sell this lie that his audience picks up on. The only thing that's anonymous that Twitch lets him do is anonymous cheering, but you don't get a message on it. That's where I think Super Chat is way stronger, because you get the Super Chat with your YouTube name and you can have a message attached to it. And that message, it magnets. It sticks right to the top of chat. It sticks longer the more you give, but your message stays with the stream for a while. Whereas on Phil, it could be 50 bits or 5,000 bits. Your cheer is going to flash once in the corner. He's going to text-to-speech it, not with a robot lady or anything, but just with his own fucking mouth, straight from the pig's mouth. Read your entire cheer. Unless it has a word that he doesn't recognize, then he's going to totally freeze. Or unless it's about something he doesn't want to talk about, then he's going to tell you to stop that. Now, it would have been way funnier if this exploit was waited on 24 hours and then used during the marathon. But I also think it's hilarious that the timing it happened before the marathon. So Phil goes into the marathon, and now there's no on-screen notifications for tips. He has to turn that off. And what this ends up doing is it might dissuade people from wanting to give Phil money during the marathon, which in turn could have led to the reason why the numbers were so low. I didn't watch the whole marathon. I was at a funeral that day. I picked up on the good clips of it, But in Phil's Q&A segment near the end of the marathon, he revealed he wanted to raise $4,000 to $6,000 from this event. Spoiler alert, Phil barely got $1,100. And then he wants to downplay the amount of money he got, holy shit, by saying PayPal takes a cut. Now, just so you guys are aware, because Phil is a scumbag when it comes to money, the amount that PayPal takes from you is 3% and 30 cents of every transaction, no matter the amount. I think there might be other exceptions, but as a general rule of thumb, 3% and 30 cents. Now, the reason why Phil makes a big stink about this is because he supposedly gets a bunch of $1 tips. We have no way to confirm that because there's no on-screen notification that it happens for anything below $5. And that Phil doesn't always keep track of updating the total tips regularly anyways. Maybe this is a good thing for Phil to turn off the tip counter if he wants to throw off how much money he's making from the detractors. But now, if you sent him $1 on PayPal, they take 3 cents out and 30 cents. So that's, of course, 33 cents from the dollar. Phil only gets 67 cents after PayPal's cut of the fee, right? Phil was making it seem like that the 30 cents is a whole 30% of his money is lost to PayPal, which is not the case because he did get a couple of big donations come through. But if you send him $50, they're only going to take 30 cents and then 3% of $50, which is what, $1.50. So just again, a huge scumbag being like, oh, well, we got $1,100, but I guess it's the take home, the amount of money I'm allowed to put towards my taxes is only going to be closer to $700, $800, guys. And you can bet your ass that when the event was over, he went to Twitter and talked about how great of a success it was. I don't know if I would call it a successful first marathon because remember he pitched it as a 16-hour marathon, then came back and said, you know what, guys, it's going to have to be probably closer to a 12-hour marathon because of other things I'll need to do in the day plus my health or whatever. But then you had a nearly 1 hour pre-stream and then another like almost hour, it was closer to 45 minutes, Q&A segment. So even with those added in, it was 10 hours and 45 minutes. So of course you take off an hour and 45 minutes, the pre-stream and the Q&A segment, and then you're left with a 9-hour marathon, and which is it's close to like 3 hours more than we would normally get from Phil in a day. So yeah, real hard work there, buddy. You worked basically a normal day for most other Twitch streamers. A couple more things to talk about, and then I'll wrap up this week in DSP. The Sekiro gameplay with Phil is full of all sorts of rage. I could almost stretch this out into just being shitting on Phil for playing Sekiro. I haven't put 12 hours into it like he has, working a big boy job and taking care of real life obligations like, a girlfriend and a death in the family and things like that. Prevented me from just sitting on my ass for 6 hours a day playing Sekiro. But Phil is still failing to grasp base concepts of the game. Stealth, which we know he has a history of being terrible with, and precise timing, which the gout-filled joints don't really work a whole lot with. And he's doing this trap I think you can fall into, and I'm guilty of it too, where you try to play it like Dark Souls. But Phil's method of playing Dark Souls is usually to overlevel, face tank, and heal through everything, which doesn't really work for Sekiro. And the other thing I'm noticing too, and I fell into this trap too, I think I'm repeating myself, that he keeps acting like there's iframes on the dodge. And I did the same thing too. I thought a dodge was like, whoa, you get out of there and you get out of danger and you're safe. But no, you can get hit while dodging. You have to like physically get your model away from the weapon or whatever's coming at you. And if it connects with you at any point during the animation, boom, you're getting hit. I didn't restream any of the gameplay, but I watched Phil. It had to have been an hour on the one-armed samurai, the Shadow Long Swordsman, I think is his name. Mr. Huth Stuff has just that clip uploaded to his channel. It's the nearly hour-long rage of Phil getting the drop on a boss that has a sneaky stealth entrance to him, so you can get a sneak attack and take off one of its 2 HP bars. Struggling for an hour against this boss and just not grasping the basic concepts of what you're supposed to do. Not even using his whole arsenal against the boss. He talks about having items in his inventory and he's like, I don't know what they do. The descriptions are vague. It's like they want me to try it and find out, as he proceeds to not try and find out what the items in the game are designed for and why they were included in there. The only ninja prosthetic I've seen him use is the freaking shinobi axe. So, of course, it's just like any other Phil Soulsborne playthrough where he's going to use the super heavy attack, which might have hyper armor on it. I don't know. But just swing hard and for the fences and hope for the best, as opposed to trying to learn jumps, dodges, and parries to get your way through most of the encounters. Final point I want to touch on, and he talked about it a little bit in the week, but he definitely touched on it more in the marathon, is Phil's vacation to Connecticut is basically locked in the week after his birthday week. He's running a marathon on April 5th, which is the day before his birthday. And then he's, of course, going to be celebrating his birthday the whole week like he's done before. And that's his last push to raise for his taxes. And, of course, once that's done, it's radio silence from Phil for a week while he goes and visits his once dying parents, who are now suddenly a lot better. And then if we don't raise enough money for him, he's going to have to come back and sell his house. Yeah, right. But he's also pointed out, I'm not telling you the itinerary. It's not Monday we're going to the zoo and Tuesday we're going to the arcade. But he's basically already confirmed that they're going to go to an Italian restaurant. They're going to go to the mall. They're going to go to the arcade. And they're going to go to the zoo. He's going to take Kat to all the same fucking places he took Leanna. And I really, really, really hope, not for vlogs, but I really want him to upload something to Instagram. And I really just want the exceptional individuals at Kiwi Farms to cross-reference the shots with his previous Instagram pictures with Leanna, which he only recently, and I want to say within, it was definitely after Kat had moved in that he finally went through and deleted a lot of the Leanna pictures. But of course, the internet never forgets. So that's all out there. So they'd be like, oh my God, he took the picture at the same spot. He must think this is a really crazy selfie spot. But that's a little strange of me to hope for, I guess. But I do just want some sad Instagram selfies. Like, oh, we're having so much fun, but I'm really dreading having to sell my house or whatever. But I do want to take this time and say that week that he's gone, I will be streaming, and it'll be the perfect opportunity for me to do other streams that I've had in mind. I've hinted about them during my restreams during the downtime for something to talk about. We'll definitely have an anime discussion stream because the stream very frequently can turn into a weeb discussion if anything is even remotely referenced to an anime. So I think it'd be great to have, like, I don't know, podcast style or talk show style or something, but we'll have a stream and a discussion where we can talk about anime, share clips, things like that. Definitely some gameplay streams in there because I haven't done those in a long time. Rip my Octopath Traveler playthrough. I have an idea for a game show, but I don't know if I'll be able to execute it in time. And I definitely want to do a Super Smash Brothers tournament, and I'll put some money up as a prize for whoever takes first place. But once I finalize the dates and make sure that my schedule is safe to do some of these other ideas, I will definitely let you guys know on Twitter, on the Discord, and maybe I'll make a community post here on YouTube too. Try to get you guys on all the social media fronts, what's going on and when. So something to look forward to. A day off from Phil, but also a week off from Phil, and try to do some more fun stuff. And I know if you guys are just here for the Phil stuff, then enjoy your week off. Let the salt and gout desaturate from your system, and go do something fun. Whatever you find fun that isn't anime or video games, because I guess that's what we'll be doing that week. And that concludes Week in DSP. Again, sorry for the shorter one. I did get a lot of feedback last week that the shorter one was a little bit more enjoyable, but I know a lot of you guys like to listen to me in the background while you work or something, so that's why you prefer the longer ones. So I don't know what to do to please everyone. It's so difficult. Thank you very much for tuning in. I did a lot of restreaming this week, so I don't know if there's any juicy news that I really needed to pick up on. So I really just dialed it down to the major events that have their own Kiwi threads, like I think is like the criteria for this. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought below. I try to respond to every comment, or at least read every comment and give you a like or a heart. And we'll see you in the next stream or video. Take it easy, guys.